Jai Guruji, greetings to all with folded hands. How Guruji wishes to unfold my thoughts is not known to me, but I know he will guide me through for the best I can do. It shall be my endeavor to put across my experiences, only some of them, sequentially along with the lessons learned. I was a non-believer in mortal gurus, but circumstances while I was in army and was commanding a unit at Jalandhar brought me to the doorsteps of Guruji. This happened after a couple of my attempts to knock at his door. I by nature was a blunt officer and wanted to quit the forces, so I tried to venture out for a job in civil, and having failed to do so, now decided to take refuge at Guruji's Darbar. When I reached his Darbar on the destined day, the moment I stepped inside the gate, I went blank, and I was taken in and totally forgot as to what for I had come. I was baptized and went back home with a free mind. Lesson I learned was that you can have his darshan only when he so ordains, because prior to this I made 3-4 attempts to meet him or to have his darshan. Secondly, preoccupied thoughts have no meaning. He has already decided course of action for you the moment he glimpsed at you. Hereafter, my frequency of visits to his congregation continued to increase from once a week to twice a week and then daily. Well, that was the effect of magnetic pull of his aura, and my journey with him continued. Every evening we were pulled to him, and we used to have our dinner at his holy place. Humans as we are, thought came, it's not correct to eat at his place, and so decided to have dinner at home and then go for his darshan at his darbar. And when we reached, Guruji gave us a plate stacked with chapatis and dal and vegetables and said, Uncle Langar Chakko, and made us realize the difference between khana and langar, and khana and chakna. Chakna means relishing a divine juice. When we were at Jalandhar while commanding a unit, Guruji graced my residence almost twice a week. Once my wife was down with high fever, and despite me and my younger son giving the cold pack therapy to her, her fever didn't come down. And during this time, we got a message from Guruji that he will come to our house. This would entail preparing langar for at least few Sangat members who would accompany Guruji. We were a bit upset, but then what he tells him, what message he sends, he only arranges things, everything. Langar was organized, he came, the fireplace was lit, and all settled. He went to the bedroom and said, Chal auntie, tena kuch nahi hai. She came out and lied down beside him next to the fireplace where he was sitting. After some time, langar was served and Guruji decided to leave and went outside. It was biting cold outside because it was the month of December in Punjab. And when we touched his feet, they were burning. Guruji sat in the car and left. When we came inside, my wife's fever has come down to normal and she was fit. Guruji has taken her fever onto himself. Now who can do it for you? Your father, mother, wife, brother, sister, husband. Nobody can take your pains on himself. And this is what Guruji precisely used. He used to take the pain of his Sangat on himself and then ward it off with his path and his spiritual path. Langar was prepared once in our house by Guruji. He told auntie once that you do not know how to prepare langar. And when I come in the evening, I'll make langar. The menu given was aloo tomato ki sabji. Items required were aloo, tomato, onions, green chilies. He came into the kitchen and instructed, sabjiyon ke चार टुकड़े कर दो और हरी मिर्च काट दो. The cooker was placed. He poured ghee on it, put all the items in the cooker together, took out condiments box and dropped everything in the cooker. When he was emptying the haldi box, auntie interrupted. Guruji, inni haldi, he said, chup, and poured water from the jug. All the while he was murmuring, oh. He came back to the drawing room. After some time, cooker started blowing whistles, and it continued for some time. Auntie was concerned about number of whistles cooker has blown, but Guruji was unruffled. He told Raghveer after about half an hour to switch off the gas. I have not tasted such a vegetable ever in my life. It has everything: balance, texture, taste, consistency, and likewise. In spite of the fact that Guruji has put almost 250 grams of green chili, same amount of chili powder, red, and salt luxuriously, and almost all the condiments. How? Why? That's the divine will poured into it. We are very, very blessed to have enjoyed divine blessings of Guruji, poured on us through tea, chutney, dal prepared by him in person. Once I visited GK temple at Delhi from Jalandhar, a drive of about 7 to 8 hours. I started from Jalandhar at about 3 a.m., hoping to reach by 11 a.m. While on way, I noticed overcharging of the battery. It was too early to locate a mechanic at Ludhiana, so continued and could locate a mechanic at Ambala. He did something and said all okay, but as moved further, about 20 kilometers, the same problem surfaced. Here I would like to mention that I was finicky about the gauges in the car. After some time, we reached Karnal and I got the vehicle checked. Same story as at Ambala. We proceeded further, and same problem surfaced after a short drive. I was getting frustrated with the problem and stopped at Panipat and told the mechanic to change alternative dynamo or whatever is required, and asked him what should I do if some same problem occurs. He told me to snap a particular wire. Well, the story was same after 20 kilometers. I stopped and snapped the wire and continued my journey. When I reached beyond Sonipur, there were dead bodies lying on the road, and ultimately I reached GK at around 3 p.m. 12 hours for a journey of 8 hours. Guruji said when I touched his feet at Greater Kailash, Aaj tere saare grah karte, and directed his driver Sagan to get my vehicle checked at the workshop where Guruji car used to be serviced. The mechanic there said nothing wrong with the car. Well, that is how Guruji foresaw the happening and put brakes on my speed and protected me and my family from a fatal happening. After this, we stayed at GK temple as per his order, and on order we stayed at me and my son at Greater Kailash, and auntie stayed at Sultanpur. Those days, Guruji stayed at General Mohan Singh's residence in Delhi camp. Guruji used to come to the temple at around 11 in the morning. We used to wash entire exterior and interior and clean every nook and corner of the mandir before Guruji's arrival. One day he came, briskly walked to his room and said, "Safaiyan nahi huiyan." We were taken aback and checked everything as to what have we missed, and ultimately found that the dustbin inside the kitchen closet has not been cleared. So that was Guruji's observation with closed eyes and his requirement of cleanliness. He always insisted on it, whether Jalandhar Mandir or Bade Mandir. At Bade Mandir, after every major function, Guruji will wait till everything was cleared, and after giving prasad to every sevadar, will move towards Sultanpur. Now, that was his concern. He was very, very critical about Sahay, And now I'll touch upon one of the instances which happened, which shows how he controlled your mind and your actions. There was one lady called Bini Singh, and I did not know that lady. Once after Bada Mandir function, Guruji was having his langar inside his room, and when it so happened, he called me and he said, Bini Singh no bula ke leke aa. Now, I didn't know who is Bini Singh, and he also knew that I do not know who is Bini Singh. I said, Ji Guruji, and went out. Looked all around the hall where the ladies were sitting. Sangat was sitting, but couldn't lock on to any of the lady. Went outside, looked around, and I locked on to one of the lady, and I asked her, are you Bini Singh? She said, yes. I said, in that case, Guruji is calling you inside his room. Now, this is how Guruji used to control your mind and your actions, right? Till you have reached the objective. Then Guruji used to keep you away from rituals. Number of times he talked about the fasts people keep which have no value. And he talked about Friday fast. We used to keep Friday fast, and we are very particular about Friday fast, which has a lot of do's and don'ts. Knows you are not supposed to touch khatta, you are not supposed to eat khatta, and especially on Udyapun day, you are not supposed to have anything of the sort, even your entire family. So my son those days used to take breakfast for the sevadars in the morning, and when he reached one of the Fridays when we decided to do the Udyapan, he reached Guruji's mandir, and there Guruji gave him Coca-Cola as prasad. Very happy, he consumed it, and he came back and very gladly told his mother, "Ma, aaj mujhe Guruji ne Coca-Cola prasad diya." And there she said, I told you so many times today you will not eat anything khatta or anything like that. Today I have to do Udyapan. Anyway, that was the story of Udyapan for that day was over. We reached Mandir in the evening, and when we reached, Guruji remarked that people keep fast. They believe in bogus things. God is sitting right in front of you, and you are going here and there. So he said, Rab to ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠਿਆ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. That was his perception of rituals. Now, next Friday came again, the Udyapan thing was decided. This time nothing happened when he has taken breakfast for the sevadars. And during lunchtime, we decided to go to Guruji's place. Auntie was teaching in Sanjay's academy at Jalandhar, which is in Defense Colony, and I came from my office. We reached Guruji's Darbar, and there were lovely parathas and dahi, which was given to us as prasad. I ate it happily, merrily. I enjoyed it because it was prasad from Guruji, but auntie was a bit skeptical, and she only ate paratha. She didn't eat dahi because that has khatta in it. Sure enough, she thought she has achieved her aim, and when she came back after washing her hands to Guruji, Guruji said, "Oh, kitchen te chinu pae ne unna nu chilke laya." छिलके ते नून पाके लेके आ. She peeled off quinoos, not supposed to touch khatta. She peeled off quinoos, put salt on top of it, and when she took the plate to Guruji said, "Saranu varta de." Couple of people sitting there, "Saranu varta de." We are not supposed to distribute khatta to anyone, give khatta to anyone. And he ensured that you distribute, you peel khatta because you are bound by rituals. And that was enough for Vidyapan. And we were under total Guruji's bliss. Now, this is what has happened with regard to rituals. Now, Guruji taught certain lessons to us, rather me, I will talk about it for myself, because when you are in seva, you tend to become slightly, your chest starts bloating. When he sees your chest is bloating, he deflates it. So what chest bloating I mean, it's the ego which is coming in you, and when the ego comes, he deflates that ego. Because Mahapurush कभी भी अपने चेले ego नहीं आने देता. So he came out from his room and used to switch on the chandelier light at the time when he used to enter. Now one of the bulbs of chandelier didn't lit. He said, "Jab 10 ke kitta to fir ki kitta." That means you don't have to told to correct a thing. You should have checked it before. Mahapurush nu dekh ke cheez lani chahiye thi. What used to happen that I used to take lassi for him after he has come out from the bath. And there was a separate almirah meant for Guruji. And in that almirah, only Guruji's utensils used to be there. Used to be katoris, glasses and things like that. So lassi was made and it was covered by katori. Put on tray, we took it to him and I took the katori out so that he could pick the glass, and I find achar in that lassi. From where that achar came, how that achar came. And Guruji said, "Jado Mahapurush lai cheez leke aande, dekh ke leke aande." So that is where A, the lesson was Mahapurush nu cheez leke aande, dekh ke leke aande. B, that probably I was getting bit inflated in my ego because I was doing seva. My ego was put to earth. Because I didn't know at that particular time what am I supposed to do. Now, once he told us to prepare muli ka paratha, that order was given around 1:30 in the night. He said, "Jao muli ke parathe leke aa jana, subah 5 baje main jawanga." Now, we reached home, we started taking bath, freshened up, and then muli paratha banane shuru ho gaye. By the time we reached back with muli ka paratha at Sultanpur, it was beyond 5, and Guruji was standing at the gate. We were late by about 5 to 10 minutes, and Guruji said, "Uncle, you are late." Now, that is what he taught about timing. There used to be mithai prasad which used to be distributed, which was brought by the Sangat, by Guruji himself, by his own hands. So we used to be looking for besan ka laddu agar nahi khana hai, we don't want to take besan ka laddu, we'll wait for in the line when the kaju ki katli comes. Now that is what we could manage because we were at that time Chaudharis. So when the kaju ki katli went there, we as a very, very obedient disciple, stood in the queue and extended our hands in front of Guruji. And to our surprise, we used to find besan ka laddu falling in our hand, in our open palms. So it is not our choice. Prasad is not your choice. It is Guruji's desire. He used to say, Malik the driver naal langar kane. Taagal balon. Malik the driver naal langar karan. Chakkan taagal balon. Which conveyed the meaning of social equality we always insisted. Now, he also said, Har bande lai bakhra injection hunda. That means a particular thing told for a particular person has no meaning for the other person. So every person has got a different meaning for different instruction. Now, once we are returning at Jalandhar from Nirmal Auntie's house, so when we used to move with Guruji, there used to be a set order of march. And you used to follow them. One of the Brigadier Sahib, he broke the order of march and he thought he knows Jalandhar very well and he will take a shortcut and reach Mandir before Guruji and receive him there. But it so happened that Guruji, we followed Guruji's gadi and we reached Mandir. We went inside, tea was prepared. And when tea was being served, Chai Prasad was being served, he appeared and then Guruji said, Brigadier Sahib, is karke to general nahi bane. Because if you follow Guruji, you will reach the destination in time and in a manner he wants you to reach the destination. But if you break that order or if you do not follow that order, you may not reach in time. Now, I also had very spiritual this thing that I understood meaning of Purushut and meaning of various rhymes in its true perspective only through Guruji's blessing and inspiration. I think I'll be biting on my time if I explain that, so I'll not be explaining that. I will not be touching upon various health issues, and I will only say he transforms you, your behavior, your conduct. It changes without he saying anything. You will always find when you come to Guruji's Darbar, thereafter your perspective of life changes. Disciple destination is decided by Guru, and he ensures disciple reaches destination in time frame set by him. So, lot of things used to happen, like speed of execution of tasks like painting, whitewash, carpeting, etc. His divine force and principle of tasks undertaken be executed in time. It used to happen in time. You cannot imagine a house getting painted in 24 hours, everything. In payments at the end of the month, the grocer, the malis of the mandir, the malis where he used to stay, staff at Sultanpur, etc. Everyone has to be paid on the first of the month before 10 o'clock. Now, Guruji had taught many things. I cannot touch more upon anything else. Jai Guruji, Jai Jai Guruji. I will only add one more sentence. He used to always tell me, O shlok samad. O shlok hai, asadi sumum syat kajjalam sindhu patre, suru taro arushakha lekhani putra murvi, likhiti yadi grihitva sarga sarvakadam, tadapi tava gunanam ishparam nayati. Meaning that you make ink powder of mountains. I'll tell you the overall meaning. भाव बतलाऊंगा. सारे पहाड़ों की शाही बना दी जाए. असदगिरी समम स्यात् कज्जलम, और जो समुद्र है उसको दावात बना दी जाए, उसमें इतनी शाही घोल दी जाए. कल्प वृक्ष की कलमें बना दी जाए. सरस्वती लिखती रहे, शाही खत्म हो जाएगी कागज खत्म हो जाएगा, कलमें खत्म हो जाएंगी, पर हे गुरु तेरे गुणों का वर्णन खत्म नहीं हुआ। जय गुरु जी।